All right, shalom, shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Before I get started, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rechak Wadash. Double honors to my apostles and my elders of Great Millstone who lead, teach, and rule well. Love and honors my fellow Icon, pushing the word in truth, faith, and sincerity across the four corners. Shalom. Peace and blessings to the sincere listeners who listen and subscribe to the men and doctrine of Great Millstone. This is Brother Edified from GMS Land Church, coming with another lesson to the Spirit. And it's going to be predicated more or less off of Matthew 7 and 13, primarily going into the Strait gate. Going to speak towards the idea and concept of the Strait gate, and just add a little edification to that through the Spirit. So this is Matthew 7 and 13. Enter ye in at the Strait gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Okay, so like I said, we're going to focus on the topic of the Strait gate, but just to finish the whole precept, to allow the whole precept and to speak, scripture to speak, Matthew 7 and 13, enter ye in at the Strait gate, all right? For wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. See, so the importance of entering in and being on the Strait gate is for the fact that if you're not on the Strait gate, then you're going to lead down a path of destruction. And I would say like the tricky thing, or the way that Satan will try to manipulate our perception of this is through distractions, and also in his trickery, his witchcraft. He leads people to think that doing things that the masses do is the correct thing to do. Even in marketing and advertising, there's certain concepts like that, like bandwagon, where that's one strategy that they use in order to get people to change people's habits. But we know through the scriptures, of course, that we are not to follow a multitude to do evil, and just the ways of the world in this age. It doesn't make sense, nor does it allow the scriptures to be into desire to move in a way in which the masses move. And continuing on, Matthew 7 and 14, because strait is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. So strait is the gate, okay, it's the place to enter in, and narrow is the way, meaning that's the path. The path is narrow. But that gate and that path leads to what? Leads unto life. And also with that, there are few that get that and understand that concept. So we're going to go into the Strait gate. In which the word there for straight,
Strong's G 4728, stenos.
And here it's G 4728, stenos or stenos. It says narrow, straight, probably from the base of G 2476, and we're going to go and focus and hone in on that. But also says narrow, from obstacles standing close about, straight. So not only is the Strait gate, okay, not only is it narrow, but there's also obstacles around it, in which, if you think about a pathway, in which, whether it be people or animals, in which they walk in and through on a consistent basis, it creates a pathway in the earth. And that's a path because even if you're thinking it in a very simplistic sense, the obstacles round about a path is grass or things that grow and foliage. And, depending on the path, you have different types of obstacles that be upon it in the way. But that's a thing for us to realize, that the fact that the Strait gate is narrow, but there's also obstacles, in which that's why it's the path of difficulty, because there's obstacles close and round about it. But now we get into that, the word, the base of that word for stenos or stenos. This is the base in which that word comes from.
Strong's G 2476. Histemi. Histemi.
And it's G 2476, histemi. And it says to cause or make to stand, to place, put, set, to bid, to stand by. So you think about to bid, like you bid someone, it means you pretty much call them. So you call them, and it says to bid, to stand by. So meaning you call someone towards you and then they stand. And it says, in the presence of others, in the midst, before judges, before members of the Sanhedrin. And that's what we're going to really laser focus in on, is the root of that word for straight is histema. And it says to bid, to stand by, in the presence of others, in the midst, before judges. So the straight gate is actually us being called to stand before judges and before judgment. Okay, so going into that, because the place that it mentioned at the end is the Sanhedrin. We're going to go into a little bit. This is from Wikipedia.org. It's a little bit into the history and common conclusion, so to speak, of the Sanhedrin, as far as what's reasonably accessible. The Sanhedrin, it says, were assemblies of either 23 or 71 elders known as rabbis before the destruction of the Second Temple, appointed to sit as a tribunal in every city in the ancient land of Israel. So the Sanhedrin was, in essence, a high court. And here you see a depiction of the Sanhedrin. It says from an 1883 encyclopedia. So this is a throwback picture right here. This picture is, 140 years old? And maybe older than that, but this is the picture from an encyclopedia. It says there were two classes of Jewish courts called Sanhedrin, the Great Sanhedrin and the Lesser Sanhedrin. A Lesser Sanhedrin of 23 judges was appointed to each city, but there was to be only one Great Sanhedrin of 71 judges, which among other roles acted as a Supreme Court, taking appeals from cases decided by lesser courts. And see, this is an ancient assembly of through wisdom, He was going to judges in which Edom Esau has his certain judges in high courts and things of that nature, which is not only wicked, but also they're not making judgments with the standard of the Holy Scriptures through the Spirit. But going to 23 and 71, so these are odd numbers. So when this judgment came down, there is no hung jury, so to speak, because even with that, they have a solid number of men. So I don't know if it was, I don't know, for the essence of time, I'm going to get into it. I don't know if it was a yay or nay, or if, there had to be one or the other, binary choice, so to speak. But just with that, even if you had a margin of error, you had a nice number of judges to prevent there being hung cases, so to speak. Or they might have death or transition. I don't know. I don't know exactly how it ran. But even with like Esau Edom, he has what I believe like 9 Supreme Court justices, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see real quick before I even misspeak. So it's not as easy to go to Wiki. Let's see. Yep, 9. In which the Sanhedrin the lesser had 23 and the greater had 71. So, it's really better to have a higher number of judges, so to speak. So, in the Second Temple period, the Great Sanhedrin met in the temple in Jerusalem in a building called the Hall of Hewn Stones. The Great Sanhedrin convened every day except festivals and the Sabbath day. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that out for edification, for the sense of, as far as us being on the straight gate, understanding when we entered that gate, when we entered that path, we came in a certain way through Yahweh Shri Hamashai, allowing us to see that and coming in. And now we're on the straight gate, in which really, in essence, we're in the process of presenting ourselves before the ultimate judges, in which the ultimate judges are, of course, Yahweh Shai. So us being on this gate, on this pathway, is us being purged and prepared for our ultimate case, which is the case of our salvation, all through the Spirit. So I'm just going to close out Sirach 18 and verse 20. Sirach 18 and 20. Before judgment, examine thyself, and in the day of visitation, thou shalt find mercy. See? So as long as we stay in this spirit of examining ourselves, because as it reads, before judgment, in which, like we said, entering upon and being on that straight gate, we are preparing ourselves to be delivered up, ultimately, for judgment. So, before judgment, examine thyself. And what are we examining ourselves of? Our conduct. Are we conducting ourselves according to what the Holy Word tells us to conduct ourselves through, which of course is the Holy Bible? And in the day of visitation, thou shalt find mercy. See, so if we just do this and continue in this process and allow Yahweh Shai to form and fashion us as he sees fit, in the day of visitation, as the scriptures say, we shall find mercy. So I'm going to end it off there. Lord willing, you edified. Before I close out, I'm going to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rachak. Double honors to my apostles and my elders of Great Millstone who lead, teach, and rule well. Love and honor to my fellow Akim, pushing the word in true faith and sincerity across the four corners. Until next time, Shalom.